think I'm live. See you in a second. Where is everybody? There's everybody. Larry in the house. Golf floor ear softer in the house. That's a pretty smart name. That is a pretty smart name. Kellen Dross in the house. Stop Racism in the house. Yonkers in the house. Raul in the house. Thanks, Raul. Matthew Winter in the house. Larry in the house. Your pops is coming home. That is awesome. That is awesome. Carmen in the house. Carmen, I need a session with you. You need to carve out some time for your boy. Haven't talked to you in quite some time. Again, guys, sorry for the streaming quality. Still working on trying to get Elgato. I spent another hour trying to get it worked, and it sucks. So sorry. Hi, can you please start doing reaction videos to Frog Leap Studios? You'll love Leo. I don't know what Frog Leap Studios is. What is that title saying? Give peace a chance. What's up? Coming 62 in the house. You need to check out Evergray, my young brother. Is Sarcast in the house? Dances with Pugs in the house? What is Frog Leap Studios? Ben Moen in the house? We are live and direct. No, babe, I have not fixed the thingamajig. Can you bring the last vestiges of orange juice left? Mm-hmm. All we are saying.
Roman couldn't find his shoe. And then I found it around the corner. Him and I had some pizza together before he went out. He's like, I said, oh, your shoe's over here. His friend was at the door. He's like, that's my mom. She's very helpful.
Pody in the house. Metal Transport, thank you very much. Thank you for keeping us company. Really appreciate it. When will I ever get this guitar riffs from you? When, oh, when? I talked about it with Sori yesterday, and so I've been waiting, and I think I'm going to have to just go solo on this one. So I'll send you the track. Then I've got to send it to Jay, and Jay's got to add his stuff to it, and then we'll see what's up from there. So I ordered some stuff so that I could get my guitar work into GarageBand, and then after that, I'm sending it to you. Mr. Pickle, love you too, buddy. Colpy in the house. So what's his name? Peter's been asking me for that guitar track, so that's coming.
It's sounding really good too.
3-minute new metal song, guys. Come on. Music video is coming. It's going to be tight. Listening to Metallica Nothing on their YouTube channel. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it. I think Sori's coming in. Y'all. Do we have a Sori sighting? Oh, it's a Sori sighting. You guys seem like good people. Sori is a really, really good person. Me,
yeah, it depends on what day. Sometimes he says I'm selfish, and depends on the day.
You're horrible.
You're a horrible human being.
Hello there. You should listen to the Metallica Live YouTube and jam out to it.
So I do feel like a wild Sori. I ordered my pizza from the wrong place.
What do you mean?
I ordered from Domino's instead of Papa John's. And I don't like that pizza that much.
Well, then call up Papa John's and order them there.
We just spent $30 on that. That was pretty annoying, not going to lie.
Steve Bradley in the house. React to some Insomnium Poor Fakor. I don't know if the name of the song is Por Favor or if he's saying Por Favor. Sori is a good, filthy capitalist, according to Vin. I never said she was good.
You said I was good like 2 minutes ago.
Oh, not in the context of your filthy capitalism.
Thanks, Benjamin.
Thanks for doing the song for Tyrone today. No doubt. Benji B, do you know when you guys will get to the Beyond the Pines request? I put it about a month ago. Not sure if I missed it or not. Much love.
Oh, no, you didn't miss it. I'd have to pull up the computer to see where you are on the list.
Send me an email in 2 days if you don't see it in 2 days. What's up, Stab Cats?
More than 2 days, I think.
Domino is sadly winning the pizza wars. Ethan loves us, loves you too. Please do the Soundgarden song 4th of July on the 4th of July. I don't know if that's a good play, Peter, because I don't know if it's going to be like some like patriotic stuff, and you'll get people like M Death Fan angry at me, or more angry at me than they already are.
Brian, we keep talking about doing another rockathon, but then it keeps getting bumped off because it's hard to find like a slot of time where I'm going to feel that good to be able to do it. Although we really do need to do it.
Now I'm really, really skeptical if Kellendross wants the 4th of July song done. Vin, as if you care. You hear the resentment? Because I said I'll get M Death Fan mad at me. He goes, as if you care. No, he's kind of right. He's kind of right.
What was it? It was what?
What? I don't know what you're talking about. 4th of July by Beyond the Pines. Can I request a Guns N' Roses song? You can request a Guns N' Roses song.
It's just never going to happen.
It's just never going to happen because your boys at Guns N' Roses gave us a copyright strike, and if we get 2 more of those, the channel is over. So I don't know. Maybe we'll put it on Patreon or something. But Guns N' Roses left me really, really sour, I have to tell you. React to Gojira. Need to sleep. Have a good stream. Yes.
Yes, thank you, Matt Edit Stuff. The gyms have opened. I can't customize the price to $420. Life sucks. The gyms have reopened. We just haven't gone because in Maine, COVID-19 stuff is like the COVID cases are increasing. So we're really trying to avoid any contact with that because I'm pregnant. So we love you too. Doomsday. Hi, Dances with Pugs. That's a cute name.
I know, I like that name too. Dances with Pugs.
Thank you, Matthew. Problem of Sin goes live Wednesday. What's that? Is that a band?
He's got a podcast.
Oh, okay. I actually remember you saying that. I just didn't know what the name of it was. And glad you still love us.
Who?
Matthew Winter.
Finally got to catch you lives. Yay! Listen to Wesley. Who's Wesley? Me guten sus reacciones. I like your reactions, I think is what he was saying.
Yeah, you said Slipknot was canceled. I didn't know that. I mean, everything got canceled. So we were both pretty bummed out that our entire summer was basically wrecked. Alfred, thank you. You should really listen to and review The Devil's Blood on the Wings of Gloria. You're all amazing. Thank you.
Somebody asked me to play my favorite chord song. Remember Ralph? May I tell you about Ralph? First time I got my guitar, that's what he taught me. All right. He's like, you want to be a badass? Play this. I was like, all right, man. Show me how to do it.
We're due November 15th. Orion is a year old. So some people are like, didn't you already have your baby? We did. We're working on another one now. Sarcast wants to make sure you don't send that out of tune to him.
No, it'll be in tune, Sarcast.
Who's older of you two?
Walaikum assalam, rahmatullahi wa
not by
barakatuh.
much.
Ya Ibn Pratama.
You were born in 83.
I keep looking at the camera
I know.
because whatever, but this
I keep
freaking
doing that
Elgato
too.
thing. I wonder if the Geek Squad can come over.
For a small fee. I'm 35. You 36 or 37?
I don't know.
He was born in 83 and I was born in 85. That answers your question. Moshmaster. I made a mistake on Facebook in something you mentioned on your last video. It's been deleted with strong apologies. I am no racist. Hashtag BLM. What made you just... You deleted it? What made you decide to delete it? Thank you, Dances with Pugs. I feel pretty plain today, so that was very nice to hear. I said you get Sane Fallen. Hey, Vin and Sori. Vin, I sent you guys an email about Dime Bag Sound. I've been talking to Sori on Patreon about it. Yeah, I actually
telling me about that guy.
I actually copied your message.
Excellent.
There are a few people that I'll copy their messages and send it through text to him, so he gets it directly on his phone. And yours was one of them. I'm like, Dime Bag Sound. That one goes through text message. Yeah, but the thing is, Sarcast, Ultimate Musings, he looks younger than you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He's like, Ultimate Musings is one of the few older than me. Sorry, buddy. Nobody believes you. You know anything about Dainty Kane?
Dainty Kane? No.
Can you guys see? It's black, so it's hard to it's hard to tell where the belly is and the back screen is. I'll go in front of it. Yeah, I know. Profane personality. I kind of felt like that too. I always wanted to have babies close together, so I'm good with it. But I did feel like I wanted to get down to pre-pregnancy weight before getting pregnant again. And we were working on that. We were going to the gym like religiously. We were kicking some major ass there, but well, yep, once you go black, you never go back. True. I feel like part of the reason that is because what the statistics say about black men and what things are actually like are so far from different that I'm like, energy.
Well, some of the stereotypes are right.
So, that's true. But let's not talk about that here.
What, that we're good fathers and
Yes.
involved parents?
Yeah. Pony, why don't you message my phone? Why do you send it in Messenger, you weirdo?
Look at Tuna here.
I know. There's a bad guitar. It's very bad. No, he's good. It just needs to be tuned. He has an electric guitar, and it's distortion. Oh, Pony. Okay. Got you.
What about Pony? She okay?
Because of COVID, her phone is off this month. Doomsday, yeah, a lot of people seem to like that prison song reaction. Did you like the thumbnail where I put us in jail? I should put me free and just put you in jail. That's so terrible. Do some finger style, Vin.
Yeah, you should have been like outside of the jail and like pointing to me in the judgmental way that you do.
In the way that you do. See? He's 1 minute saying I'm a good person, next minute he's like, you're judgmental.
It doesn't mean it's wrong.
You're a filthy capitalist. Any other names you want to call me, sir?
Doesn't mean it's wrong. Holler Back Girl by Frog Leap Studios with a Karen haircut.
No, Benjamin. I'm definitely not okay today, LOL, but it's not relative to COVID-19.
Oh.
Is that okay? Well, she said she sent us a message in Messenger.
I love your channel, your reactions, Mel. You tend to keep it very civil. I'm a non-believer, but love your channel and love your appreciation towards music. I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
Oh, put a Karen haircut on me in that thumbnail.
Oh.
I didn't get it till just now.
Remember that time we did the bowl cut?
What is it? Is it like a bob? Is that? I don't even know what the Karen haircut looked like.
White woman in distress.
Are you guys not answering my Pearl Jam requests? No, it's just we have a short list that is being done.
Who is he?
I don't know. Where did you put your request out at? Sorry is the new Karen. Am not.
Vin keeps it civil. Look, I keep it civil for an American sarcasm. You guys are too soft, man. I'm not mad at them. It's just they're it's soft over there in Europe sometimes. They got all their aggression out, in the world wars, and then after that, they're just kind of chill.
Oh my gosh. They do seem more chill. I'm not gonna lie.
Just let me know when you want to chat. Then no doubt. Wait, what are we supposed to be chatting about? Elio Mike in the house. My ex-wife is a hairstylist. She says a Karen haircut is an A-frame bob.
But a bob is like A-frame is like right here, bob, right?
I was brought up from the middle America video with the attorneys with guns. Vin said I was not intelligent. That hurt, so I deleted the post.
Did he use the word intelligent or ignorant?
That's not the same thing. That's a good one, babe.
Whenever he would say that somebody was ignorant, I'm like, that's so rude. You're calling the person ignorant.
I call myself ignorant.
He said, stop. He's like, ignorant just means you lack the facts. It just means you don't have all the information.
It's called civilized.
Guitar gear and tune, my friend.
Ah, yes.
And
he
tone.
said tone, not tune.
Sorry,
You weirdo.
excuse me. Can you play any Metallica?
No, I don't play Metallica. Play that nonsense.
Wow. All right.
Play that nonsense.
That was intense.
I hate Metallica.
Yeah. Oh, he still says idiot dumb butt to his family members. Alex D, any chance y'all can do any live reactions? Oh, we tried that. And then YouTube will either block the whole stream.
Yeah.
Or they will
those super chats.
They'll take them all away. But we did do a rockathon that was live reactions, and we are going to do another one of those. We just tell people don't super chat us, otherwise they're going to take it. And then we hope they just don't shut the stream down. And then I snagged the whole video and busted up so people can still see it.
Are y'all libertarians? Because I hate love you and love to hate you. Either way, I keep watching. No, I'm not a libertarian. I'm probably more socialist than anything. I'm not a libertarian. I don't believe people pull themselves up by their bootstraps and all that stuff. In the main. In the main. Playing lame ass Metallica 1. Terrible Metallica. Oh, you want to give him a live performance of the COVID-19 song?
Sure, but I gotta go get the lyrics. If you're serious, I'll go get the lyrics. Love the String also would be able to play D. Randy Rhoads.
Metallica, third time Metallica sold out.
What's the worst metal song you've heard?
Listen to A Touch of Evil. I think we already did A Touch of Evil.
I thought we did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that was that's our guy, right? That's the guy that we like with the high pitch, Rod Halford.
Yeah. Honey, what's the worst one you've seen? Art, what's up, buddy?
I'm not gonna mention the name of the worst band that we've covered before.
The worst song.
Or the worst song.
Why?
Because Kellen Joss is in here, he'll get all upset. See, I do care about people's feelings.
Tell him to plug his ears. The whole rest of the stream wants to know.
Now, there was one particular song that we couldn't get through, and we had to just stop it. We just ended the thing.
We did end up finishing that. We went back to it.
They're at it again, friends. They're at it again.
That was it, right?
What?
Taffer.
Tuna, we've done Touch of Evil. Hold on, let me find it right now. Let me find it right now for the big homie. All right. Touch of look at that. Vin and Sori. I'm gonna get the link. There's the link. Judas Priest, Touch of Evil.
Olay's Retinol 24.
Nobody cares.
Pause that.
Nobody cares about oil of Olay. There's Touch of Evil. There's your reaction, sir. Right there. Touch of Evil. Do we have rights from our creator? I mean, really, and explain the Bible, not anything like a government document. Well, the concept of rights comes from the idea that there is some sort of equal value statement about human beings.
Pony.
So because we have an idea that all human beings are equal, that's where we get the concept of rights from. So rights is derivative from the concept of human equality. And so if you look at the preamble to the Declaration of Independence, that was the argument that was being made. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal and endowed with certain inalienable rights given to them by their creator. So it was on the basis of us being creatures of God in the image of God from which the concept of the concept of rights flowed from, at least in the American tradition. So that's where that goes.
What's your favorite Judas Priest song?
Probably Painkiller, because it's the heaviest one.
I think there was one that had something, the word angel in the title.
Yeah, that's true.
Which one was that?
The angel one was when you had me listen to Painkiller again, and it was just weird because like I liked it after that.
I think Tosco or Osco or Osso, what's his name, is the one that told me to do that one. He's like, I think you'll like it.
Mike Gonzo says peace is overrated. Says you, Mike Gonzo.
Yeah.
I've had enough of war in my life, sir. So I love me some peace. So I love. Let me see if I can fix this thing here, huh? All we are saying. Did I edit it? I just want to edit it so I have a cool thumbnail now. What's wrong, babe?
My stomach.
Your
is
belly
upset.
ache you.
Yeah, but
Your
I think
belly
it's probably
ache you.
because I had that sweet.
I think it's due to your many sins.
Well, maybe. I had the most unhealthy supper.
I know, that's such a terrible stuff. We eat like complete crap now ever since you got pregnant. You're the worst. I don't even see where you can edit the thumbnail on this thing, Majiggy.
Why are you trying to edit it? That one's cute.
Okay, we'll leave it.
Are you serious? You were trying to change that one?
Well, now that you're here, I think if people see you on there, you're a bigger draw. We have musical coups in the village as well on Discord. Jay and I are also working on something because waiting on you is unbearable.
I'm sorry.
It's really her fault, but we'll solve that problem soon.
What up, peeps?
We will make America metal again.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your favorite color of the alphabet?
16 blue.
No, mine.
Have you read The
smell of
Prophet by
cheesecake.
Khalil Gibran? If not, I suggest it. 110 pages of spiritual poetry, philosophy on a variety of topics. That sounds very interesting. Catch up to other reactions, please. The new Bring Me the Horizon single called Parasite Eve. Yeah, we don't really look at other reaction channels. We mostly just look at what our community says as far as...
I never look at other reaction channels.
Yeah. Well, Sori doesn't look at anything on YouTube, so... I'm usually looking up stuff on religion or Marxism right now is what I'm interested in. So I don't really know what other people are doing. Much respect to other reaction channels, but
I listen to music.
Our community pretty much drives what we listen to. So,
but I always like love songs. That's what I like. Either like love songs that are like happy and romantic, or love songs where everything is like love the way you lie or something horrible. What?
The smell of cheesecake. React to Tommy the
So
Cut.
you're saying you're not jumping on the Blackpink bandwagon? I don't know.
What's the Blackpink bandwagon?
Made me think of the. Remember that?
A lack of reaction to Ozzy's solo work. Is that because they'll always be blocked? No, Harry. That's because
Pink Panther.
I'm completely ignorant as to what Ozzy's solo work would entail.
Just so you know, if you end up playing Fortnite with Johan tonight, he wasn't sure if he wanted to play because he didn't want you yelling. And you're like, come on, Johan! So I was like, well, just tell him that. He was like, he'd probably just tell me to play better.
You know, sorry.
What?
There's certain things that I don't talk to you about.
Oh, no.
In front of here.
Well, it's just a game.
This is what she does. It's always different when she does it. Now, if I were to say blah, 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 then I wouldn't hear the end of it for 5 weeks.
It's so true. That's why you shouldn't do that.
You're one of the worst people I know. Unbelievable. Hey, you two slackers. Let's wrap up the website already. What's up, EFOG?
We're waiting for answers from him. He's the business guy, so.
You reacted to No More Tears and hated it, so I don't know what No More Tears. What's up, Ron? Can one make requests without joining an alliance? Sure, you absolutely can make a request without joining an alliance.
Matter of fact, the main stage tomorrow wasn't from an alliance. It's from the comment section.
For 2 years.
It just takes a while. What's your favorite Megadeth song? Yeah, we did.
That
we
last
did Crazy
one.
Train.
That last one we did. What's up from Brazil? What's up? That last one we did was
we didn't see it. I don't know
the five magics. That was my favorite so far. But I don't know if that's because it's literally my favorite or if it's because it's the last one in my head.
Yeah, mine was Peace Sells.
Your favorite band, Korn.
I think my favorite is probably, of all the ones we've listened to, it's probably geez, I don't know. Anytime that there's going to be a typo, I automatically am excited about it.
Yeah.
If there's a Slipknot, I'm also excited about it.
Yeah, you're a big typo fan.
I also like certain Pantera, like a certain version of Pantera. Remember the Cowboys from Hell one? That was like, I like that one.
Okay, so War Pig, a quick check on Google Earth shows that the two different gates shown by the news are at the same location. The big main gate had a sign that says private drive, and there were two smaller pedestrian gates on either side. So it was the same place.
But it was a different gate. That's what he just said.
Okay.
Didn't he just say that? One was a big main gate, which is the one
Yeah,
that
but you were trying to spin some crazy conspiracy theory. It was the same place.
I'm just saying that I don't trust what the news puts out or what people put out. I need to see what's going on here.
You mean you need to see? You're going to take a plane and go over there?
No, they just did Google Images. That worked.
So you trust Google Images? That's completely flawless.
Why would Google Images be not true?
And this is a guy in the comment section. You trust what he has to say versus
check
the
it
people
out.
with video.
The video evidence showed two different gates. I don't know why you're laughing at me right now. That doesn't even make any sense.
I'm not laughing at you.
It's literally two different gates.
Let's go to the next one. Seems that we may be equal, but the founders of our nation had reverence for the fact that we are imagers of God and chose to give us rights here based on that. But in Israel, it was not so. Well, I don't know what you mean by us, Najor, because they didn't do that for everybody, right? So there's that. Where is My Mind by the Pixies? Favorite Korn album, Follow the Leader. And that's because that was the first Korn record I ever listened to. But they had a really good run between Follow the Leaders, Issues, and Untouchables. That was probably the best stretch of a 3-album stretch I've ever seen in my life. If I was around during Metallica's, what was it? It was Ride the Lightning, Puppets, and Justice. That's probably the best one of all time, but I wasn't there. But Follow the Leader, Issues, and Untouchables, in my opinion, is the best 3-record stretch I've ever seen in my life.
What was your local drummer boy one saying? Apparently, they just kept saying it over and over and over again. Somebody's like, they saw you. I didn't see it.
What's that?
I don't know. Amy Lee, send me a text because now you got me very curious.
Favorite Metallica album? Justice.
I don't know if there's any more punk on the list because I don't know.
What are you talking about? We just did a punk song. The main stage. No, David, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying at all. The main stage for, or maybe the underground. The last song we reviewed was a punk song.
Oh, okay. My favorite thing about having a child is the bond that you make with them, especially during delivery.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. Have you ever listened to Chimera? Yes, the dude that used to show me a couple things on guitar was a big disciple of Chimera. Justice has no bass. I know, but I generally don't hear bass anyway.
There's a song by Slipknot called Eeyore.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite Slipknot songs. Actually, I don't know if they.
Well, why don't you show it to me?
Is that the one where it says, "I am the great big mouth bird"? I think that's the one. I'm not sure. Is it the one where he says, "I am the great big mouth"? What's your opinion of Jonathan Davis as a vocalist? I think that Jonathan is probably the most evolved singer from the nu metal era, and he has got a very, very distinct voice.
Noah said, "Yep, that's the one."
Yeah, that's a fun song.
So,
Vin, my king.
That would be a main stage song, right?
What riff do you most play on guitar? I don't really know. It just depends.
Alex D, would the Nazis have been defeated if Hitler didn't stab Stalin in the back?
It's a good question. Obviously, everything is speculative. I think so, because we had the nuclear weapon. So, and obviously, Dresden showed that the good guys were not unwilling to hurt civilians. So I think a couple nukes over Dresden and all the rest of it would have ended the war anyway. React to Lamb of God, Overlord. Yes. What's your favorite Iron Maiden song?
Did you hear that? Big
Yeah.
thing went off, and all the kids are screaming. Now they're laughing.
All the kids are screaming?
Well, you heard them screaming.
Jonathan
now.
Davis has the coolest mics. Yes. Have you played Last of Us 2? No, not yet. The only game I play is
cheers, Noah.
Good job, Amy Lee. The only game I play consistently is Fortnite. Been feeling quite low lately, and you guys have helped me a lot. Cheers, by the way. Thanks, Noah. I appreciate that, my guy. That's what we aim to do. Fortnite gang. Yeah, like Yang Gang. We got to come up with some gang sign. Throwing gang signs up. Well, and all night.
I am horrible at coming up with stuff like that.
She is horrible at Fortnite. Period.
No.
Period.
I'm not horrible at it. It just depends.
Pretty terrible.
It depends on the day. Sometimes
you freak out over silliness.
I do. I get nervous, especially when the shark is coming around me. Pony, it can be boring, Roblox, huh? The kids love it, but I'm like, I play with Sayla sometimes, but I'm like, she's like, now sit down and eat this sandwich. Now go to bed. I'm like,
are you into football? Yes, I am into football. I'm a big Patriots fan. I'm a big Tom Brady fan. Although I'm not really a fan of the Patriots, although I'm pretty happy that they drafted Cam. So we'll see.
I do like seeing the houses that she creates and seeing for a little bit, but I get bored of it after a little bit.
What system do you play? I play on Xbox.
If you're trying to get a song reaction and you're asking that, is that why you're asking about Patreon? You
Send
can do
me
the $1 tier and then you just jump into an alliance. Once you join the $1 tier, you just send a message in Patreon and I'll get the message and then I'll send you the link to Discord.
What a busy night. People behave. Get them. Yeah, I think people were sleeping on Cam. I think Belichick is going to have a good influence on Cam, keep him focused on football. I think they're going to be a scary team. Although, I don't know, maybe N'Keal Harry now, he's going to be better. I don't know, because with Cam's mobility, he'll be able to buy N'Keal Harry some time to make some separation. Obviously, Brady had to rely completely on the legs of the receivers to get separation because he can't keep a play alive. So I don't know. Maybe the receiving core is going to be better than we think they are because Cam can buy him extra time. I just think that they need to do something to get him some help offensively. Richard, reaction to the cult. She sells Sanctuary and Firewoman. She sells Sanctuary. That's an interesting.
She sells seashells by the seashore. That's all I saw.
Interesting line there. Your hand sign for Fortnite will be wiggling your pinky toe. What console y'all voting for? Wi-Fi router or a mini fridge? I have no idea what that means. Yeah, just whoa, Art Perez. The white couple was justified to blame President Trump for this is very ignorant. I blame the local government for their liberal decisions, like in Seattle. I have many guns ready for BLM, Antifa, and any extreme group that wants to silence me. Well, wow. I mean,
Art, what nationality are you?
Okay. What people need to do is think with some nuance. And here's the thing that gets me about Trump supporters. And the theme here is give peace a chance. So we're going to listen to each other, try to understand each other. These are the same people who are generally very big on personal responsibility. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, but they never want to hold Trump responsible for anything that he does. And they want to pretend that as a leader, he has no influence because of the technicalities of the division of powers. Art, listen very closely. Here is what I blame Mr. Trump for. Number one, Mr. Trump has consistently ignored the legitimate cries of peaceful protesters. See Colin Kaepernick 4 years ago. He ignored them, and on top of ignoring them, he insulted them and their mothers and told the football owners to fire them for peacefully protesting. So the message that he sent to those people was, I don't care how you feel. I don't care what's going on with you in your life. It doesn't matter how peaceful you protest. What you have to say is completely invalid. Okay? And 4 years later, George Floyd gets hurt. And then people go crazy and do violent things. Now, I shot a video about this in another forum 4 years ago. And I said, if you do not listen to peaceful people, people will get violent. That has to be laid on the feet of Mr. Trump. You have to hold him accountable for the fact that he did not handle that situation very well. Now, is it oversimplistic to say that Elijah and George Floyd would not have been killed if Trump would have took Kaepernick seriously or even pretended to take what he had to say seriously? I don't know. Here's what I do know. He has a consistent record of disregarding Black pain and suffering in this country. And then you have people show up in the state capitol with assault rifles because of COVID-19 restrictions, okay? When the world has lost 500,000 people and America has lost 127,000 people. And he tells those, and what he says about those people is, hey, they're very angry. You should make a deal. Then when these two people show up on their lawn with guns, he retweets it without any context. He does not explain why those people broke through the gates in the first place. The mayor doxed regular citizens who don't have a gated community to protect them in a state where people can roll up on them with guns at their homes. And he retweets that, and he doesn't give that information and hold the mayor accountable. At some level, Art, you all have to hold your man accountable. He is not using his influence in a positive way. Mr. Trump, it is clear from his Twitter page, aside from the fact that he posted folks yelling white power, which apparently he did not hear, Mr. Trump does not prosecute himself on Twitter as if he's the president and the most powerful person in the world. And you guys have to hold him accountable for that. Do I understand?
I feel a baby move right now.
I said specifically in the video, I understand why the white couple did what they did. I understand that. I also understand why the protesters did what they did, because the mayor is living in a nice gated community, but these people are on the street. They're not living in a nice gated community. If some right-wing psychopath shows up at their door with a gun, they don't have much protection. So that's where Mr. Trump is accountable. And until you people, when I say you people, I mean specifically Trump acolytes, until you recognize that and begin to hold him accountable, we're not going to get anywhere. Now, I know there are people that blame Trump for every little thing that happens in the world. I am not one of them. 2 days ago, I shot a video where I said Trump did the right thing to ignore the CIA briefing on what was going on supposedly between the Taliban and Russia. So I'm not that guy. So you can't play that card with me. I don't blame him for everything. I credit Trump when I believe he's done the right thing, which would be that or not retaliating against the Iranians for shooting down the drone. I even commended him when he killed Soleimani. I said, well, I mean, he only killed him and his bodyguard. He made sure no civvies got hit. I commended him when he passed the First Step Act. But I'm not one of these people that's going to give Trump a complete pass every time he does something wrong. What he does on Twitter is extremely dangerous. It is obviously racist, and it's very wrong, and it's contributing to the fracture of our country. And if you can't see that, then I don't know what else to tell you.
Art is Mexican, he said.
I don't care where he's from.
Well, no, that just surprises me more because Trump has said some pretty terrible things about the Mexicans, hasn't he?
Well, I mean, there's always going to be a Candace Owens, right? You got, Art is the, he's in that ilk. But you guys need to hold him accountable for that. Those are facts. He is majorly responsible for not using his power and influence to quell the racial divide in this country. That's why you're the president. And I don't know if you're a religious man, Art, but go read 1st and 2nd Kings. You know who gets blamed ultimately for the problems in the country? The leader. And that's what I tell my boys. I say, you know what, fellas? If your household doesn't go right, it's your fault. You're the man. And that's what happens. That's what a leader does. A leader takes responsibility and accountability. A leader doesn't go, well, it's this and this and this person's fault.
Did you shoot that video about Candace Owen on Middle America, or was
No,
that somewhere else?
I didn't. I didn't publish that on Middle America.
Oh.
Unbelievable. Okay. Well, Art, go back into your Old Testament and see who God blamed when a nation went astray. He blamed the prophets, he blamed the priest, and he blamed the kings. They never blamed the regular citizens. It was always the leadership who got blamed, Art. That's true. So your man Trump is the leader of this country, and you should hold him accountable for the way that he uses his influence. Unbelievable.
There you go.
Check out Dark on Netflix. It's a masterful marrying of Christian themes and perennial philosophy with great influence from Nietzsche, eternal recurrence. Vin would love it. I am going to watch that tonight, sir.
Did you see that message? Oh, right there.
What?
No, shoot. Somebody was like, I don't respect you guys anymore, or something like that. I don't know what it was. It was funny. Oh.
I would just ignore it anyway.
Yeah, but it was funny the way that it was worded. I know I should. The person was probably being serious, but
yeah, look at this. Just as you can't pay attention to each comment in this chat, the president can't find the ones to blame and pay attention to the minor incidents 24/7. Atlas, maybe you didn't hear me.
He took the time to put that Twitter thing out.
Correct.
So he should have taken the time to put a little comment on it.
He's also taken the time to take mugshots of people who are defacing a statue of a rapist and a slave owner. That excuse, the excuses that people make to justify this dude is absolutely ridiculous. Furthermore, he took the time to tell.
It wasn't you that said it.
He took the time to say that Colin Kaepernick was a son of a bitch and that everybody that supported him should be fired when Colin Kaepernick was leading a peaceful protest that was not a riot. And he ignored that. So you're trying to tell me that his complete ignoring and castigation of Kaepernick has nothing to do with the violence that broke out this year? Okay, I just respectfully disagree with you and say you obviously don't have an understanding of human nature. Unbelievable.
Pregnant teacher. Duality by Frog Leap Studio.
Run for damn president and make this country great. You know what? I've come to the conclusion that whoever the president is really is immaterial. As far as healing the country, it's got to be us, and it's got to be regular citizens like you and I. We've been able to connect with each other in a way that's never been done before in the history of the world. And I would like to believe that we could disagree stridently, but as long as we love and respect each other, we'll be able to make it out.
Dances with pugs. Vin, my son thinks I'm being irrational when I'm not letting him drink straight from the gallon every time he sees you do it. Okay, listen. This will help you out, actually. Dances with pugs. He doesn't do this on the gallons in the main refrigerator. We have a small fridge in our room, and so those gallons are exclusively his. He doesn't do it on the main gallons that everybody else consumes from. So that might help you with your kid.
Didn't the NFL apologize to Kaepernick? Yep. A couple dead bodies and a couple destroyed stores later. Yep, they did.
Honestly, Vin would be a great president, except that I would be so miserable because he would be so busy that then it would make our relationship extremely strained, and in which case I don't know how he would be.
All those ancient societies, they just blame the leaders. Those societies were full of slavery, unimaginable poverty, and human violence, and so on. Yeah, I mean, if you're not a Christian, then the Bible is not going to resonate with you. But Art says he is, so there you go.
Tony said that Gia still asks if you're mad.
That's got to be like one of my favorite things of all time, ever in my entire life.
Oh, it was so cute. I still tell the kids. I just told them like a week ago. And then she drew that picture that looked like a potato. It was
Brian, I'm in agreement with you. Something needs to happen in Chicago, and quickly. Very, very quickly. We're talking about anything. Everything is on the table, my guy. Vin isn't racist and murderous enough. I'm a recovering I'm a recovering violence addict, so I still think there are vestiges of me that would be murderous enough to be a president, unfortunately. But I really think because of where social media is and things like that, I think when you see the rise of YouTube media, and I'm not talking about little, middle America. I'm talking about like Jimmy Dore and things like that, like people that the establishment has to account for. People that the establishment has to account for. I think that's an indicator. And I think the next step is going to be us figuring out together collectively what we want to happen, because I don't think any of us are comfortable with the way that the country is right now. And my thing is that we need to hold regular people accountable to the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And, we can't leave it up to the politicians, because they've demonstrated, especially in the last 4 years, that, they've always never cared about us, but they've really gone out of the way to let us know that they don't care about us. If Vin were POTUS, would he tell us if aliens existed? Yes, that would be the first thing I would tell you. If there was extraterrestrial, if I had empirical data that, or even, I wouldn't even need empirical data. If I had reason to believe that a rational person would have good reason to believe that aliens existed, I would call a press conference and tell everyone immediately. So.
You would?
100%. 100%.
I don't know if I would.
You wouldn't. Because you always underestimate people and think that they're weaker than they are.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think
you can handle a lot of information.
Yeah, I think that the more information people have, actually, the better it is and the safer it is.
To be honest with you, whenever there's like a person, your brother was in the, I don't know if you heard this story. He was in the Uber, and this guy was like, the Uber driver was telling him, he's like, yeah, he was basically saying that he got abducted by aliens once,
Mm-hmm.
and that they injected him with some disease. And he's like, so I guess like the doctors were calling it like, I don't know if they said extraterrestrial disease or something like that. He has like some kind of virus. And then your brother was like, so what are the side effects? Like, what are the symptoms? And then he's like, there are no symptoms. That's the thing. And so your brother was like, so how did they diagnose you then? And so I told your brother, I'm like, honestly, I always feel bad for people that like, because something happens to those people. Like, they're very similar stories. Like when they say they've been abducted by aliens, and then that things were done on them, like different like experiments and stuff. Like they all kind of sound a little bit similar to like as in what happened. So I don't know. I always kind of feel bad for people in those situations, because it seems, that'd be pretty terrifying. If I thought that I got abducted by aliens and everyone thought I was crazy, I don't know. That's just, I don't like, that's a scary feeling.
Well, when you consider how vast the universe is, it's mind-boggling to me that anybody would mock the idea that
Mm-hmm.
could happen. I do place blame on Trump, but it's unfair to have all the blame placed on the president. What about the local city councils and mayors and the governors? I also was against how Kaepernick protested, not what he was protesting. Well, this is the first I've ever heard you use blame and Trump in the same sentence, Art. And so I appreciate it. That's progress.
Thanks, Zombie-holic.
But again, you can dislike the way Kaepernick protested, even though Nate Boyer, a Green Beret, was the one that told him to kneel. Mm-hmm. You could dislike the way that Kaepernick protested. The issue was it was a peaceful protest, and Trump came out in a visceral, below the belt attack that let every black person on the planet know that he doesn't care what we say or how we feel. But then he is able to tell the governor of Michigan, hey, these are good people. They're just angry. So he can see through the aesthetics of them walking around with their assault rifles and things like that. And he can say, these are good people. They're just angry. And that was about COVID-19 restrictions. So that's where I can tell you, he has fostered the animus and the anger that is directly correlated to the riots that have happened in our country. Those are facts. They're just facts. This is why I get very creative when I abduct you humans.
Zonia.
No, but it's a serious thing though. Honestly,
It's going well, Zombie Holic.
honestly, like how is it like? And here's the other thing: if a guy like Bill Gates held a press conference and says, "I was abducted by aliens," would it be funny? I don't know. I think a lot of people would say, "Well," they would really consider it
Because
if Bill
it's Bill
Gates
Gates.
because it's Bill Gates because of his where he is on the class spectrum. So, I'm a lot of people say they're open-minded, but I don't know. But I definitely I would be way more surprised if there wasn't aliens than if there were, considering the vastness of the universe.
Son says to Dad, there's no one worth voting for. I wish there was a viable third party. Father says, son, I'd settle for a second party.
Whoa. Yeah, man. That is true. Good one. One issue I can't get my head around being from the UK is the gun problem in the US. Are you pro or against the right to bear arms and why? I would rescind the Second Amendment tomorrow if I believed that would end gun violence. There's 328 million Americans, according to the last Census Bureau report, and 400 million guns. So I just think that because Americans are socialized to almost worship firearms, I just don't really see any real viable solution to the gun control problem. The closest I've seen is Bernie Sanders was on the Joe Rogan show, and Bernie talked about the gun question, and then 5 minutes later he talked about healthcare, particularly mental health, and he didn't connect the two. But I do believe that there is a vast connection. So I would throw a lot of money around for mental health and things of that nature and get people more mental health help, because otherwise I don't see any. And you think about it, like I've seen these memes and they're right. Like in the 50s and 60s, kids used to show up to school with their guns. They'd have a whole slew of them in the back of the pickup truck, and they'd go hunting. Sometimes they would have gun classes at the school.
Wow.
They weren't shooting each other up. So we've got a mental health crisis in America. And so I think the only chance that we have is a mental health solution to the gun problem. What?
Vin, please tell my son you have to be over the age of 30 to drink straight from the gallon. He's giving me so much grief over Sori not being mad at you for doing it. Because if I yell, he does it. Because I yell if he does it.
Well,
seriously, I would say something to him if he was going to take that from the Maine refrigerator. But that's his personal gallon, so I'm fine with it. So if it's not your personal gallon, you shouldn't be doing that.
Thoughts on legal weed? I'm all for it. I think that the benefits of that far outweigh I think we need to look at the pharmaceutical industry and the billions of dollars they're making on making people drug addicts, essentially. So yeah.
What's up, Tony? Most Christians are for the right to bear arms, even though the Bible says otherwise.
Yeah, I think biblically it's completely inappropriate for a Christian to be a gun toter and killing people and even threatening to kill people. That's completely. If you're around in the early church, they would seriously question the validity of your baptism. Yeah, to Kellendras's point, Big Pharma is horrible, and I have a family member that is no longer on this planet. And, they made their own decision. I'm not going to blame Big Pharma for that. But I remember after she died, and I talked to her doctor, and I said, did you even treat her? Or did you just prescribe her medication? Because they were trying to put something on her death certificate. And I was like, so we went and got the autopsy done and all the rest of it. And she was, like I said, she made her own decision, but at the same time, she had a supplier and she had great insurance. So whatever. So, when I look at that versus weed, my stepfather was weed cocaine guy. And then, my mom was the pills, and she was way more out in space than he was by a mile. No, Echo. He absolutely said, "Don't kill." I don't understand this stuff. What do you mean he didn't necessarily? If you're not even supposed to retaliate when somebody smacks you in the face, how in the world do you get that you can kill someone? How do you get, I'm sending you as lambs among wolves? How does that metastasize into you can kill people? It's madness. Yeah, I'm for Medicare for all, 100%. Glasgow kiss. Did Iran and Interpol really put warrants out for Trump and his staff? Yeah, I think they did. They put warrants out for killing homeboy. Yeah. With Minneapolis okaying the dismantling of the police force and it going to vote, thoughts of how policing should go forward in the country. Well, number one, I think we should, and I take what Amy Lee has to say as gospel in regard to those issues. Bible has been translated so many misinterpreted parts, such as Bible does not say can't be gay. It says don't be with children. I'm not going to tackle that issue. All I'll say is the Bible doesn't say that. Yes. I'm not going to touch that. Weed has helped with my epilepsy. That is awesome, Robert Dalton. Praise God. I'm legitimately happy for you for that. Okay, Eklo. Jesus said, if somebody smacks you on the cheek, turn the other one also. All of Jesus's first disciples, aside from the disciple John, were executed in horrific fashion. Not a single one of them took up the sword to defend themselves with lethal force or anyone else. The Christian church suffered persecution for 300 years and never took up the sword. Where are you getting this idea from the New Testament that you're allowed to kill anyone? Please get me a verse, Eklo. Has your stance changed on that? The intelligence on the hits and Trump's reaction or lack thereof? Develop that a little bit more, Bricktown. You know, all the talk of Confederate generals and statues. I think it might be cool if you guys did Ice Earth's Gettysburg in its 3 parts. I'm not so sure that that's a bad idea, Kellen Dross. I'll really think about it. July 1 through 3rd. Shifting currents. What's up, my guy? Weed fixes everything. No, Burn Man. Jesus fixes everything. Sometimes he uses weed to fix it, though. I'm not gonna say that didn't happen. I'm thinking many dark spirits are influencing our culture of corruption and guiding the godless to run rampant, killing, stealing, and destroying. That's true, David, and it's also guiding the godly because you've got godly people that are talking about loading up their weapons and killing people instead of doing what Jesus called us to do. Specifically, Art, I'm talking about you. You have no New Testament warrant to get your lock and load and get your gun ready for Antifa or BLM. And I would implore you as a brother in Christ, if you say you're religious, to compare your heart and your attitude to the New Testament. What would you discuss if you got on Joe Rogan's podcast? I don't know. I think Joe Rogan, he's kind of free flowing. So I just go with the flow. 3,000 kids are missing. Yikes. That is only describing, not condemning. No, you're wrong. Psalm chapter 11, the Lord loves the righteous, but the wicked and those who love violence, his soul abhors. That's Psalm chapter 11. I disagree with those that want to get rid of police and prisons. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to have a defund the police person on Middle America and do an interview with them, because at my vantage point, I'm not certain that when they say defund the police, they're talking about abolishing the police. So I'll have to get more information on that. Maybe I misunderstood. I felt like you weren't already holding him any kind of culpable for a lack of action, but maybe I was just understanding what you were getting at. Yeah, I'm holding Trump culpable for his passivity and his aggression. They're both being channeled in the wrong direction, in my opinion. I love Antifa. Oh, man. I will not turn the other cheek if anyone threatens my family. Okay, well then you all that means, Art, is that you're going to obey Jesus until Jesus messes with your idol, which your idol is obviously your family. And I don't judge you for that, Art, but you're in complete disobedience to the Lord Jesus Christ in that situation. And I don't judge you for it because my family is the most important thing in the world to me too. But that's a fact. You're just in disobedience to Christ there, and your heart is not right. But I understand why. BM Fan and me. Well, you know, if I can get you and BM Fan in the same room, I'd like to talk about the chop, and then we should do a separate one on defunding the police. I don't want those to be on the same episode because I feel it would lose, it would be too long and we'd lose viewership. And I think both are separate issues that we need to have discussions on. It appears to me that no one really understands what the Second Amendment is saying because the Second Amendment does not give citizens of this country the right to bear arms. Yeah, I know, the well-armed militia, all that jazz. I'm with you. I'll judge him. Art is a Satan. Art is a Satanist. Okay. Well, Art, you know, I would encourage you to repent and ask Jesus to give you the strength to follow him. Would you pull a Musk on Rogan? No. Respectfully, you wouldn't sit idly by if your family was being assaulted or something, right? Austin, respectfully, I think there's a difference between lethality, right, and intervening. My model is Jesus, and so in the best version of myself, when Jesus was in the garden and all the Roman soldiers showed up to arrest him, he put them all on their ass. And then he said, hey, since you're looking for me, just take me, let these go. So Jesus used just enough force to protect the people he wanted to protect and to protect the bad guys from themselves. And then he offered himself as a sacrifice. He could have killed them. He could have disintegrated them. He didn't. He used just enough force to make sure that everybody was safe. And so I've said over and over again, it is not proper for a Christian to use lethal force ever on anyone, even if you're trying to defend the innocent. You use just as much physical force as possible that's not going to kill anybody, but protect the sinner and the sheep from the wolves. That's my paradigm as a Christian. Are you a fan of Bone Thugs and Harmony? Yes. Do you have an opinion on the Chopper the Chaz? I have a perception on the Chopper the Chaz. I don't like talking about things unless I have cold, hard data on it. So I've been holding my tongue on it. I have been in conversation with some folks in the village who I feel are credible as far as they'll know what they're talking about, and they're going to give me an objective perspective on it. So that's coming up pretty soon if I can get those people together. But I can tell you my initial perception of them is not very positive. Amy, let's give Art a pretty wide berth here because Art and I are going back and forth. So let's give Art a pretty wide berth. And if he's going after Zonia, that's okay because Zonia's a big girl. She can take care of him, no problem. So let's give Art some leeway because he's working out some pretty difficult stuff right now on the channel. So let's give it some leeway. Yeah, Vin, unless it's me being Danish. So you wouldn't shoot someone going after your family if there were too many to fight. I'm not going to get on here and act like I'm a person that I'm not. What I'm saying is the best version of myself would. The question is not, would you shoot them? The question is, should you shoot them? And if we're following Jesus, the answer is no. I should not kill anyone. Because if they're dead, they can't repent. Can you react to Pantera? Yes, I love Pantera. They're one of my favorite bands of all time. I'm part Danish, raspberry, I think. Oh, man. That was a good one. That was a good one. Yeah, that's a quote from, pretty sure that's Cyprian. I used that in a debate one time. Christians are not allowed to kill, but they must be ready to be put to death themselves. It is not permitted the guiltless to put even the guilty to death. Correct. Oh, and I was right. That was Saint Cyprian. Correct. Jesus said you can kill anyone who is guilty. Exodus 23:7. Matthew, I'm not trying to be condescending here, but there's an old covenant and then there's a new covenant, right? So when Jesus showed up, he initiated the new covenant. And so we have laws that are higher than the laws that are in Exodus. And our mission is different also than the mission of the church in Exodus. So if you want to convince me that Jesus wants me to kill people, then you're going to have to show me from the New Testament, because that's a new covenant. Isn't that the purpose of Jonah's story? Instead of death and damnation to his enemy, he was meant to offer them peace and salvation. Yes, AO. And what a lot of people do not realize is that Jonah did not want to go to Nineveh because the Ninevites were Assyrians, and the Assyrians were horrible and did horrible things to his people. And so Jonah didn't want to go there basically as an act of retaliation because he wanted them dead. Very, very astute point, AO. Very astute point. Didn't Paul talk from the Spirit and say it was our duty to live as peaceably as possible with others? Yes, correct. I want Jesus to take over my life. Me too, David. I want him to take over my life too. There's so many areas of my life where he has not completely taken over. What about the Ten Commandments? What about them? Correct. Pony's point. Jesus literally reattached a soldier dude's ear after one of his disciples sliced it off. Correct. What is your view on the Mormon Church? Well, Joseph Smith and Brigham Young were obviously white supremacists. And I'm not bringing that up to say, oh my God, they're white supremacists, cancel them. But what I am saying is that tells me that these people were men of their times. One of the things I look for in religious leaders is, do they go along with their cultural zeitgeist or do they oppose it? And Joseph Smith and Brigham Young did not oppose their cultural zeitgeist. And you can even go to Mormons and they'll tell you the same thing. Whereas if you look at something like Genesis, for example, where Moses goes out of his way to say not only that men were created in the image of God, but also that women were created in the image of God. When you look at America, the equality of women hadn't been achieved until, the suffragist movement. I mean, basically 100 years ago. I mean, just recently as 100 years ago, women were not viewed as equal beings. And so when you look at Moses saying that he goes out of his way, male and female, he created them in the image of God. For Moses to do that is completely countercultural to the zeitgeist. And so that gives me an inclination, whoa, something's different here. Same thing with Jesus. He talks to a Samaritan woman by herself. And that crosses racial lines, and it also crosses gender lines into something completely radical. So, which put his reputation at severe risk, might I add. So when I look at Mormonism, I go, well, I mean, that seems very human to me. Same thing with Muhammad. I just watched something yesterday. Sahih al-Bukhari, Muhammad said that women were deficient in intelligence because that was the prevailing understanding from most male-dominated societies, is that there's something wrong with women and that they're not as intelligent as men. So anytime I look at religious leaders, I always look for, do they do anything to contradict their cultural zeitgeist? And so in the Mormon Church, on the big issues, they were pretty much right in line.
Rick, shout out to all the people that have never read the Bible. LOL. Stand up.
I do wonder, though, wouldn't we miss our sense of autonomy? Wouldn't life be perhaps boring or unfulfilling if, in fact, Jesus took over all aspects? Clearly, this is non-Christian framing. No, I understand that concern. And that's what happens when Christians throw out phrases like Jesus takes up what?
Can you plug it in?
Jesus takes over your life. It's almost this like mechanistic type of thing where you don't have your own will anymore. To me, I look at it this way. You're the most free, not when you can do quote unquote whatever you want, but you're the most free when you can do what you were created to do. So a bird is the most free in the sky, not at the bottom of the ocean, but a deep sea fish is most free at the bottom of the ocean and not in the sky. So when I talk about Jesus taking over my life, I just mean to be able to live my life the way that I was created, because that makes me the most free. A friend stole someone's car and got caught. The owner chose not to press charges against him, but spoke stern love to him instead, and the act of kindness took him out of a life of crime. Perfect example, Ao. Because if you throw the book at that guy who stole your car and you put him in the system and then he gets hardened and criminalized even more in the system, what good does that do? Problem I'm perceiving here in chat is a severe lack of exegetical understanding of the Bible. Hence, those disjointed and inapplicable Bible quotes and random judgments. I agree. Sarcastic. I am the most free eating birds. There is no way that Sarcast is not going to be in the next world. There's no way. I've already. What do you think Joe Biden's favorite? That caught me off guard. Stuck for a lot. You shall not speak evil. Just the very mention of the name Joe Biden makes me chuckle, and I feel bad for it. But I mean, I don't know what his favorite. You know what? Let me not talk about Joe Biden.
I was gonna say in that Middle America video, how when people are, I don't know if he's
seven dusted.
What's happening? If he's going senile or what's happening, but usually whatever is something that has been a part of your life the entire time is kind of what sticks with you, and you'll forget other things. That's why sometimes they forget their kids and stuff. But that's one thing that Joe Biden seems pretty consistent on is his racist. He's going to stick behind
the crime bill.
Yeah.
I'm not reading any of those Joe Biden responses. All I'll say is that I have a very horrible affliction where things pop in my head and I'm not able to
Seven Dusted, what's up?
Vin, how do you know if you're idolizing something like your wife or food? Well, I think there's some practical things you can do to see if you're idolizing something. Whatever distracts your mind, right? So like whenever you're like sitting down and your mind wanders off, where does it go? If there's a consistent theme, that's probably an indicator. Look at your checkbook. Where does the majority of your income go on a consistent basis? So that's one way to tell. And what could you not do without for 30 days? If you could do without the Bible and prayer for 30 days, but you couldn't do without your wife and all that for 30 days, and that's a good indicator. None of those are designed to make you feel guilty or horrible or beat yourself up, because Jesus already died for those sins. It's just a matter of measuring where you are and where Jesus wants to help you get to. I think it's very, very important for every Christian to understand that guilt is not a very good accelerant to get you to the destination that you want. Two people betrayed Jesus that night, Judas and Peter. And guilt drove Judas to kill himself. But when Jesus wanted to reinstate Peter, he said, "Do you love me?" So guilt is not it's not a good accelerant to get you to where you want to go. What guilt is the little gas gauge indicator that says you need to fill up on more love. So as soon as you go to the gas station and fill up on love, just leave guilt behind. So that's what I would say. Those are some ways to check, Daryl, as to whether or not you're idolizing something or someone. And then, you ask Jesus to fill your heart up with love in that little empty spot in your heart, and then off you go. So that's what I would say to that. Night, guys. Later, Rich Yonkers. Hey, Sori, how are you doing? Hope all is well with you guys. You're over there, right? Or
yeah,
no?
I'm over here. I gotta send up a video,
I'm
but
not
my
sure I
stomach is
understand.
starting to hurt a lot. I might go lay down.
Leave me out of it, Sarcast says. I'm registered independent. I am torn for the first time in my life. I may not vote. Yeah, I hear you. Vin, you asked me if I believe in God and Jesus. I replied, yes. Now I'm confused. Is accepting God and Jesus as the truth the same as believing? This is killing me. Brian, one way to check is put yourself in a position where you're standing before God and God says, why should I let you in? And if your answer is, I have nothing but Jesus, then you're in good shape. If you have any other answer than Jesus, then you're not in good shape. Do you think in times as they are now, you may ever like John Lennon's Imagine? No, because I come from a background of complex lyricism and really, I did some self-reflection as to why I didn't like that song. And it's because of my hip hop background, because being from the East Coast, you had to have a certain degree of complexity to your lyrics. And that one was just straightforward and very simplistic. And so that's why I didn't like it, and I'll never like it. Salam alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you. Just watched a video and you said, inshallah, which is an Islamic term for if God wills it. I'm just curious, how did you find Islam and how did you learn these words? My job necessitated that I understand Islam and understand Islamic phraseology. So yeah, that's how. If I understand suicide is unforgivable, so is it correct in assuming Judas is damned for all time? I used to believe that it was an open and shut case that Judas was damned forever, but I'm not certain that that's true anymore.
What?
We've already had this conversation, sweetie.
Judas?
Yeah. We've already had that conversation.
We've had the conversation about suicide, but I don't remember the Judas thing.
Aren't we supposed to pray in private, keep it personal? Well, yes, you're supposed to. It depends on the posture of your heart. If you're praying in public to show off to people, then that's not good. You've already received your reward. However, Jesus also said, let your light shine before men so they'll glorify your Father who's in heaven. So if your motive is to glorify God who's in heaven, then it's great to pray publicly. Have you heard of the band Ween? I feel like I have. Does Megadeth or Metallica have better lyrics? I say that James is a better lyricist and that Dave is a better guitarist. And I mean that. I'm not being political. That's a good question. I asked you about imputation versus impartation a few weeks ago. I believe in regard to the self-defense stuff that you're forgiven for your failings, but expected to live by Jesus's moral example. Yes, I agree with that. Vin, would you like to fight me on socialism sometime? I think I can even make an interesting case that the USSR was a success. No, I would not like to fight you on socialism, Ben, because you're one of the people that has sweetened the concept of socialism to me. So I would just like to learn from you about socialism.
Did he say his birthday's coming up, Ben?
Mm-hmm. Oh, is it? Ben, is your birthday coming up? Let me know. I want to get you a present. I believe in God and that Jesus is our Savior, but organized religion is poison. Pass that donation plate around. Guess they forgot what Jesus did to the money changers in the temple. I hear you. Isn't Judas supposed to be in the final circle with Brutus? Yes, in Dante's Inferno. Gospel of Judas is a Gnostic gospel. It's very interesting, though. Wouldn't it be that Jesus knew and that Judas was playing his part? That's also true. I agree. Bullet from my Valentine or Avenged Sevenfold? I'm going to have to go with Avenged Sevenfold because I've heard way more from them than Bullet from my Valentine. I did listen to that. The Bullet from my Valentine was a Tears Don't Fall song, and that was a good song. But I just think that they're a lot better. Maynard is the best lyricist.
The best?
I don't think that Maynard is close to Danny Filth
That's what I was thinking.
as a lyricist.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Didn't Judas take back his own life from God by killing himself, thus not going to heaven? No. There's nothing in the Bible that says that directly. So sinning is being Christian. Well, what do you mean by being Christian? Agreed. Megadeth by a mile. James. Okay. My mom's birthday would be tomorrow. My dad's was the 22nd. Whoa, Pony. I hear you. What version of the Bible do you read? I read the ESV, but I'm a Bible nerd, so I bought a very expensive program that gives me Hebrew, Greek, and Septuagint, and Aramaic, and yada, 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 yada. Revelations was political satire. You're okay. That we agree on. And I've never heard it phrased that way, but you're absolutely, that is such a good, wow. Revelation is political satire. That is probably the quote of the year. That is really good. That is very good. That's really, really good.
I don't understand it.
You know, political satire, like you see like the big donkey or the big elephant or whatever. And then, you know, you've got Nero as a beast. And
yeah.
Just,
oh, yeah.
You know.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's really good.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day, man. You gotta. Do I listen to NF? No, but my daughter's in love with NF.
Yeah.
My daughter is in love with NF. She thinks he's the greatest rapper of all time. My birthday is coming up, Vin, in August. Okay, keep reminding me because you're my man, Ron. I got to send you something. Glad you're doing a fireside. Keeps my mind off a terrible EKG result being told I had a mini heart attack. Holy.
Jeez, who's that?
Hey, you put that on the prayer board? Zombieholic.
Oh, gosh, Zombieholic. I will when I stand up.
Okay. You can turn on the AC, babe.
I don't think it's necessarily on hot. I don't know.
Does the name Jesus Christ mean I am salvation anointed? Well, Yeshua means Yahweh is salvation. And then Christos, is the Hellenized form of the term Mashiach, which means the anointed one. So it would be Yahweh has anointed this one for salvation, basically. Being Christian just means that you've accepted Christ in your life, and apparently Christ has changed your heart. You're still a sinner, though. But you're a sinner on the way to somewhere. Amy Lee is the best lyricist. Who disagrees doesn't understand the depth of her words. Can you imagine who said that? I wonder who.
That's easy.
How do you feel about Dante putting the Prophet Muhammad in hell, specifically the circle for showers of discord?
Your brother used a permanent marker on this.
Of course he did. On our prayer board. Excellent.
Look what he wrote.
I don't know how Dante would know who's in heaven and who's in hell. I hold out hope for Muhammad, so inshallah we'll get to see him. So there you go. Have you ever thought of running for office? I feel you blend religion and common sense very well. It would be well received on both sides.
How old is Zombieholic? Zombieholic,